Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm your host, Jim Goddard. We're speaking with Cascadero Chairman Bill McWilliam. Welcome back to the show, Bill.
Great, Jim. Thank you very much.
What kind of news do you have for us this time around?
Well, we published a news release yesterday, which is an exploration update that brought everybody up to at least the understanding of where we're at and how we're moving these properties that we got forward. And I can go through that in a little more detail on this phone call. And the news release started with Taron, which is one of our core properties, and we've done a lot of drilling on it, and there is a deposit there. We've now are into our third phase of metallurgy at UBC, and this is a very unique, special property that it has a metallurgical, complex metallurgy. It's an epithermal polymetallic system, and it's got rare metals in it. That's an unusual combination of elements. The metallurgy has been ongoing since 2015, and we've done several. The word I used yesterday in the news release was experiment, and that's really what metallurgy is when you get a complex problem. There's no standard formula for this, so it's a matter of having a brainiac group of people, which we have, great metallurgical people and chemists, and they figure out the combination of the solutes, the leach issues, the acids, and other reagents that are necessary to extract the cesium from the ore, from the mineralization. We've been disappointed, as you would expect. Most experiments fail. This one is not failing. We're moving solidly forward now. The objective is to reduce the reagent cost of leaching the cesium out of the mineralization to be competitive with world standards. We're very close to being able to say that now, even though I just said it. The new results we had are not fully vetted at this particular time. We don't fully understand exactly why there was such a change, but these guys are working on it right now, and it looks like we're going to get to our objective, which will enable us to spend more money on the property, which we're planning on doing in February and March, another 3,000 meters of drilling. And we've got 35 drill holes in it that we just finished, 7 previous to that. And if you want an analogy, the high-grade drill holes we've identified, and it's like having islands in a shallow sea. Okay, the islands stick out of the water, and we're going to drill 40 drill holes, 4 around each of the 10 holes we've got identified, to upgrade the tonnage of the resource and upgrade the cesium content. That'll start in February or March sometime, and we just met with the drill contractor yesterday, and we got the pricing. We know what we have to do. It's not a lot of money. It's less than $250,000 to do the next phase. And the metallurgy at UBC is ongoing, and it looks like we're going to make a real big step forward here real quick. And I'm going to be very happy when that happens, because this is a classic example of if you don't find mines, you have to make them sometimes. And this is one that always, from the time we found it in 2004, we realized that if the metallurgy did not work, then it was never going to be a mine. So we've been on that path for a long time, and now we're close to the finish line, and I think it's going to be a very successful ending. So we're quite happy about that. There's a lot of data here. I'm not able to publish the data right now because we haven't peer-reviewed it, or it's not corroborated, and we're just going to wait until all of that happens and publish the information. It'll take another probably 2 months now. This is a slow process, but it's meticulous, and it has to be deliberate, and it has to be very structured with respect to the objective. So we're on that path. It's going to take a little longer than we ever thought, but I think it's going to work out for everybody, especially the company and the shareholders. They're going to be quite happy. There's lots of interest in this property from the people that are in the cesium business, cesium compound, on the planet. Both of the properties that produce cesium now are either in mitigation to fix a problem, or they're out of ore. So this has been the only new discovery of a cesium mineral over the last 25 years, and we own that property, and we're going to develop it.
Bill, where's all this activity taking place?
At UBC, University of British Columbia. It's the chair of metallurgy there. His name is David Dreisinger. He's well known throughout the world. He's got more frequent flying points than any man I've ever known. He's employed by all of the major companies, and he's a brilliant metallurgist. And the team of people we have are older. I should say, I don't want Rod McElroy to hear me say older, but he was a former AMEC consultant. Very smart guy, very shrewd, and he's just an incredibly good person to work with. And we have a professor, Colin Oleman, who's a professor emeritus at UBC. He taught chemistry at UBC for a long time, and he's a key part of our team. He does all of the vetting of the mass balance, so to speak, stuff. I don't really understand how he does it, but he gets it all right all the time, and he's the main critic of the process that UBC's working on, and the team works together beautifully.
Where's the drilling taking place?
The drilling is in Argentina. The property is at an elevation of 4,200 meters, so wintertime is not a nice place to be there, but we're coming into the best part of exploration time in Argentina right now. It's spring there, and it's a beautiful part of the world to be in. It's spring, very nice weather. And we will drill those holes in February, March next year, and we won't have any we shouldn't have any weather complications like we had when we got the original program started in February of this year.
Bill, where is Cascadero traded, and how can people find out more information about the company?
Cascadero is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol of CCD, Charlie Delta, if you want to go international language. It trades, we've got 200 million shares outstanding. Stock trades at 9 cents today, trading at 9 cents today, an $18 million market cap. We believe we have a portfolio of properties that represent much higher value than we're getting, but we don't really have a lot of people that understand what we're doing or understand the company. But I was looking through the archives the other day, which I do frequently to check all the assays and the properties we dropped and abandoned. The business plan I wrote in 2003 was basically just that we had to get as much property as possible because it was very cheap to do that in Argentina. We ended up with 225,000 hectares, which is a big piece of ground, 110 properties. And the portfolio we have right now is basically a rendering of that position. We've held all of those companies. We've looked at all of those properties. We're now down to 26 properties, and we've got just under 50,000 hectares. So this is the core of our business right now. We're in 4 core areas. The properties they've gone through vetting by many geologists, and now we're at the point where we can raise the money and start drilling. You do not create value in any of these companies any other way than by drilling. And that's the expensive part. We're moving into that period right now. We're going to be drilling hopefully 3 or 4 properties a year and push the valuation of the company up significantly.
Bill, how can people find out more information about Cascadero?
Okay, so what we're doing right now, and this has been an area that I've never really favored in terms of spending money on promotion and investor relations. We've done very little in that area, as I believe that we should be spending the money on the properties and developing a property that has created value that some larger company wants to purchase from us, and that is the exit path for this company that I've always viewed as being the correct exit path. I have, however, just been convinced that by our board and some other top shareholders that I need to get more information out to the public. We're now restructuring our website right now. We're putting all of our internal reports. None of them have confidential information in them, but they're all our internal reports that will be available to the public on our website. We've also got a group of people, I think we have 5 people right now, that are going to be working on the investor relations side of the business. I've agreed to provide the money, which is going to be around $85,000 from what I can see, to do this for 1 year and increase the exposure of what we've got to a much wider range of people. And I think that's going to really help things. The stock's pretty liquid, by the way, given current standards. But it goes up to 12 and back to 9, and that's kind of frustrating. It's kind of range bound, and I think the IR program will develop some buying and get the stock out of that range and, give more value for what we got. That's our current plan. I'm committed to do that now, and I think it's the right thing to do.
Bill, what's your website?
The website is Cascadero.com.
Thanks a lot for chatting with us, Bill.
Yep. Thank you, Jim, and I appreciate these opportunities, and they're very good for us. Thank you very much.
We've been speaking with Bill McWilliam, chairman of Cascadero. We were speaking on October 12th. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.